What if I told you that 28 men vanished into the most hostile place on Earth with no GPS, no phones, and no way to call for help? What if I told you their ship was eaten alive by ice, and yet not a single one of them died? This is not fiction. This is the real, terrifying, almost impossible story of the Endurance. This is the greatest survival story in human history. And what happened over the next 497 days will chill your bones. Could you survive in the world's deadliest place with no hope of rescue? Stay tuned to find out how they did it. Hello friends, welcome back. This is Pandit TV, and today we are going to witness one of the most spine-chilling, breathtaking, and unbelievable true stories in human history. A story so intense that once you hear it, you won't forget it for the rest of your life. This is the story of the greatest survival ever recorded, and it all begins with one ship, one man, and a dream that turned into a nightmare. Have you ever thought what it would be like to be stuck in the middle of Antarctica? No phones, no GPS, no help, and not even the hope of rescue. What would you do if you were trapped on a floating sheet of ice for more than 500 days? Could you survive? Let's begin. On 4th November 1914, a British ship called Endurance sailed through the stormy southern oceans, heading toward the most dangerous and mysterious place on Earth, Antarctica. Aboard were 28 men. Their leader, the fearless and visionary explorer, Sir Ernest Shackleton. His goal? Something no one had ever dared before: to walk across the entire continent of Antarctica, from one end to the other, on foot. Would you risk everything for a dream no one thought possible? Keep watching to see how this plan unraveled. At a time when there were no smartphones, no satellite maps, no helicopters, this was a bold, death-defying dream. Their plan was to reach Vassal Bay via the Weddell Sea, then trek across the South Pole and emerge at the Ross Sea. A 2,900-kilometer journey expected to take 120 days. But things didn't go as planned. They went horribly, horrifyingly wrong. On 5th November 1914, the Endurance reached South Georgia Island, the final outpost of humanity before the Antarctic frontier. Locals warned Shackleton the sea was dangerous. The Weddell Sea was clogged with ice. He didn't listen. On 5th December 1914, Endurance pushed into the Weddell Sea. The ice grew thicker. Days passed, weeks passed, and on the 18th of January 1915, they were trapped. Imagine being trapped on a frozen ship with no way out. What would you do next? The answer will shock you. The crew tried everything, driving the engines at full speed, cutting ice with hand tools. Nothing worked. Worse, the ice floe was drifting, carrying them away from land. They were helpless passengers on a prison of ice. Winter fell. 24 hours of darkness, brutal cold, no sunlight, no hope. With your only shelter gone and no way to call for help, how do you survive? Stay with Pandit TV to find out. Shackleton ordered his men to make the ship their winter home. But on the 24th of October 1915, a loud crack echoed through the air. A massive block of ice had pierced the stern. Water flooded in. The men worked for 3 straight days, pumping water, but it was no use. The Endurance was dying. On 27th October, the ship's rear rose 20 feet into the air, then collapsed. The bow submerged. The Endurance was gone. Would you abandon your treasures to save your life? See how Shackleton's crew faced this choice. Now they were stranded on an ice floe in the Antarctic Ocean. No way to communicate. No one even knew they were alive. They salvaged 3 lifeboats, a sledge, personal items, and 1 month of rations. They slept on the ice. It was impossible for any ship to find them. They were ghosts on the frozen sea. But Shackleton wasn't done. He calculated that Paulet Island, 550 kilometers away, might have emergency supplies. 12 years earlier, he had helped stock that island himself. Now, his life depended on it. The men could carry only 2 pounds of personal belongings. Shackleton left behind gold coins and his Bible. Frank Hurley, the photographer, saved just 150 photo negatives. Those photos would later become iconic. Can mental strength conquer the impossible? Dinaz did it, and so did Shackleton. Keep watching to see how. They killed their dogs. Puppies they had grown attached to now became food. They loaded the sledges and tried walking, dragging boats across slushy, melting ice. After 3 hours, they had moved only 1 mile. They stopped and waited, hoping the ice would carry them closer to land. They named this place Ocean Camp. On the 21st of November, they watched from a distance as their ship, the Endurance, disappeared beneath the ice. They had lost everything, except each other. A few weeks later, the ice drifted away from their target. So, on the 23rd of December, they began walking again. But they were blocked by open water. They camped again. Shackleton rationed the food, 1 biscuit a day, some cocoa, and high-fat meat paste. They hunted seals and penguins. He lied about food supplies, just to keep morale alive. Could you survive a night in freezing water with no fire? The crew did. Stay tuned for their next move. To melt ice into water, they held tins against their bodies, a few tablespoons at a time. They had been isolated for over a year. Then, something changed. They spotted land, Joinville Island. But it meant they had drifted past Paulet Island. They had missed their only shot. Now, they faced the Drake's Passage, the most violent waters on Earth. Would you sail the world's most dangerous waters in a tiny boat? See if Shackleton's gamble pays off. Waves 12 meters high, over 20,000 sailors lost, over 800 ships sunk. If they entered that zone, they would die. So, on the 15th of April, 1916, they launched the lifeboats. Their ice floe was collapsing. They had no choice. One man, Ernie Holness, fell into the sea. Shackleton ordered him to walk all night to save himself from freezing to death. They set up another camp. Again, the ice cracked beneath them. The men were scattered, but Shackleton regrouped them. They targeted Elephant Island, the final land before the ocean void. Could you climb mountains no one had ever crossed to save your crew? Shackleton did. Stay with Pandit TV for the final chapter. And they made it. 497 days after first leaving South Georgia Island, they stepped onto solid land, Elephant Island. They cried, kissed the ground, but they were still stranded, still invisible to the world. Shackleton made a bold choice to sail for rescue with 5 others in a tiny boat, 1,300 kilometers, through Drake's Passage to South Georgia Island. They left on the 24th of April, 1916. 3 weeks of cold, hunger, and exhaustion. They couldn't even sit upright, had to lie down to eat. Waves crashed over them, then land. But they were on the wrong side of the island. To reach help, they had to cross the island on foot, an island no man had ever crossed. They rested, ate seals, and penguins. Then, on the 19th of May, at 3 a.m., Shackleton, Worsley, and Crean set out. No map, no trail, no equipment, just ropes and determination. They climbed mountain after mountain. When blocked, they retreated and tried again. Finally, after 36 hours, they saw the whaling station. They had done the impossible. Would you keep hope alive after 4 months of waiting? See how Wilde's leadership saved them. Worsley returned for the others, but 22 crew members were still on Elephant Island. Shackleton tried 3 times to rescue them. Ice blocked him each time. Then, with the Chilean ship Yelcho, he made it. On 30th August, 1916, 4 months and 6 days later, he reached them. And every single man was still alive. Their leader, Frank Wilde, had told them every day, "Pack your bags, boys. The boss may come today." And one day, the boss came. In total, they survived nearly 2 years. Not a single man died. Today, Shackleton lies buried in South Georgia. And in 2022, the wreck of Endurance was found, perfectly preserved. So, I ask you again, could you survive this? What's the greatest challenge you faced and how did you overcome it? Let us know and keep watching Pandit TV for more epic stories. Would you make it? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this story inspiring, please like and subscribe to Pandit TV for more true stories that shake your soul. And if you liked this survival story, your next adventure awaits. Please watch our next time travel video, showing on your screen now. Until next time, stay brave and never give up hope.